So one of the most common requests that we've heard from customers, and something that we built into our most current release, is the ability to take a form, say a request for information form or a field report or whatever form you have, and that doesn't matter if it's a form that comes out of the box or if it's some custom form that you guys set up, and merge the fields of that form into a custom merge template. So something that you might create off of Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, even Adobe PDF. So I'm going to show you how to create very simply a new merge template, and then we're actually going to merge this form, the moment frame connections RFI, with all of the information here into that new merged template. So like I said, you can create merge templates off of Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF. So I'm actually going to go over to Microsoft Word here, and I have a pretty generic letter that is going to go out to my subcontractors telling them that maybe some RFI or something is overdue, and I would like to get a response quickly so I can keep the flow of the construction progress going. If I look here, I have some boilerplate information, maybe what the information is about. So I can format this any way I want. So maybe I bold this information here. Actually, let's add some bold. This RFI late response, it's important, so maybe I'll make it red. I do want to put a date and time stamp on here. One of the nice things that Microsoft Word has on it is the ability to insert that information. It's going to update anytime you create a new document. So I'm just going to click this date and time. It will give me different formats that I can use, but I want to use this one here. Put that in there. That's bold. I don't need it to be bold, so I'm going to unbold it there. But now I have a date. I have some information about the project, what project I'm on, what this information is about. I do have a little paragraph here saying the following is a request for information that is overdue. Please answer this question as soon as possible in order to maintain a smooth flow of construction progress. Underneath of that, I have a bunch of fields that are going to be unique per RFI that I'm sending out. So I have an RFI number, subject, question, and an answer. Pretty generic fields here. But instead of showing it in this list view, I'm actually going to create a little table. So I'll tab out of there. I'll say I want to insert a table. It's going to give me four different rows. The first is going to be this RFI number, so I can just put that in there. I gave a little more space, so I'll delete that. The next is the subject, again a little more space, a question, and then finally the answer field. Once I do that, I can go ahead and delete these fields from that list because I do have them in the table here. The table looks a little scrunched, so I'm actually going to add some padding. In Microsoft Word, I can go in and add different formats. I'm going to go into the design, actually the layout, I guess. Go to cell margins. I'm just going to put a 0.05 top and bottom here to add a little bit more space. Once I do that, I can see my grid's looking a little nicer. But I would like to call out the information that I have on the left-hand side, the stuff that's not going to change between my RFIs, so just the fields. I'm going to actually push some shade in there, so I'm going to go to home here, put in a gray, and then I can see that information is there. It's showing a lot of space, which I don't really need, so I can pull this over just to give it that much, and actually maybe I'll even bold that information. So what I've done is kind of created this little table here that's going to pull information from my form into this Microsoft Word template that I'm creating. Then underneath my little table, maybe I'll give it a little bit more space, I have a little paragraph saying a contact number if they have questions. Maybe I'll add some space. Respectfully, Josh Whitmer. That's me, so I'm going to bold that and maybe italicize here. This is an email address, so if I put the .com and then space out of it, it's going to give me a blue link. So if some user were to click on it, it would actually pull up maybe that URL or email. The last thing that I want to do, even though this looks pretty good, is add a logo. So again, we're creating a merge template that I'm going to merge information from the system. So from ProjectTeam.com, I'm going to merge fields from whatever form I have into this merge template. But I do want it to have my logo in here. So if I go back to my Google Chrome here, I can go over. I do have this little image that I found online. Go back over to my Word document. I'm going to paste that in there. Maybe make it a little smaller. Format this thing and maybe put it behind my text, and then actually pull it over to the right-hand side. Maybe that's even a little bit too big still. So here I have my new merge template. I can delete that. So it has my logo in it. It has the information, a timestamp. So whenever I run this, it's going to give it a timestamp. But what I don't have so far is the actual merge fields, so the little code that I need to put in here that's going to tell the system where to put the information. So if I actually go back to my system, I can see this request for information, moment frame connections. These are the fields that I want, okay? But I need to create a template first within the system. So if I go to along the top of my screen, I have different form types available to me. If I click on the More tab, I have more form types, and one of those form types is a new or merge templates. If I click on that, I can see that I don't have any merge templates set up yet, but I could add a new one. So I'm going to say I want to add a new one, and I'm going to say RFI is late, because that's the letter that I want to send out. Maybe I even say, actually just say RFI is late. And then it's going to say what kind of form do you want to merge into it. And since I'm talking about an RFI, I'm just going to go down the list and click on the request for information form type. Then I'm going to go ahead and click on go to step 2. Here's where I can see all the little codes that I can use to put into my Microsoft Word document, which is going to pull the fields from my forms and put them into that template that I'm creating. The first one is a subject field, so I'll just click the copy button. Once I do that, I'll go back over here and just paste that in there. So I have ProjectTeam_1. The second is going to be my question, so I'll copy that and put that under here. And then the third is the answer. Again, I'll do the same thing. And then finally, I have this RFI number. I could copy that and put this over here. That's all that's showing up in my template right now. If I wanted to, I could go ahead and put status or cost impact, schedule impact, all those fields into my my letter here or my merge template. But for now, I think it's just going to be pretty generic, so I'm just going to add those things. This looks pretty good, so I'm actually going to save this. So I'll click File, Save. I've saved it to my desktop under RFI late letter. So now that that's saved, I can go back to my system. Again, so what we just did and what it's telling you here in this little info box is you can create a merge template. So we use Microsoft Word in our example, but you could also do that in Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF. Once you copy all the values, all you have to do is go to step 3. It's going to say upload the template that you just created. So I'm going to click on that. I find the RFI late letter on my desktop. I'll open that. It's going to show me what I've selected, and that's correct. So I'm going to say finish. Once I finish, it's going to show me that merge template that I've created. If I ever need to edit anything, I could click on this button, Get Merge Tags. It's going to pull up that pop-up window that's going to show me all those fields. I could copy and paste multiple things if I needed to and put those into my template. But for now, I think it's pretty good. So I'm just going to cancel out of that. Now that I've created my merge template, I can go back to my request for information. Here I am at my RFI log. What I can do is click into this moment frame connections, because this is the one that does not have an answer on it yet, but I do need an answer coming up pretty soon. So I want to send this out to maybe a subcontractor or something like that. I've clicked into this. I can see the fields here. I can see all the different panels on my RFIs. And there's other videos within the site that'll show you how to, add custom fields if you needed to, or share, or all that stuff. But for now, we're just focusing on creating a merge template, or actually merging this information now to that merge template that's already created. If I click on this More button or the ... button, one of the options that I have is Merge to a template. If I click on that, now I see the RFI is late template that I've set up. I can click on this one here. If I did have more than one merge template, they would be all listed here, and then I could go through and pick which one I needed. But for now, since I just have one, it's an easy choice. So I'll say RFI is late. I'll merge that information. Once I merge that information, I can see that I have my merge document created. I see that there's the subject here showing what the thing was called, the RFI is late. The form that it's getting sourced from, so the moment frame connections RFI. And if I actually go down to the second panel, it's actually showing me the merged document that I have. Here I can see I have the RFI is late letter doc. If I click on that, it's going to download to my machine. I can click to open that up. It's going to open up Microsoft Word, and then it's going to show me all of that stuff that I created before from my merge template. And then it's also pulling all of those fields. So the moment frame connection subject 016, the question here, and then there was no answer, so nothing is filling in there. Okay, so what it's doing is it processed all of the information from the form. So from ProjectTeam.com, it pulled the form fields into Microsoft Word. Again, you could use other applications such as Excel, PowerPoint, or PDF, but all that stuff is now merged into my form. If I pull this to the right and then pull the template to the left, you can kind of see where it started and where it ended here. So on the left-hand side, this was my template. I just pulled in those codes. Again, if you ever needed to edit the codes or add new fields, you could certainly do that pretty easily. And then on the right hand side, this is my end result. So I had my template, I had my form, I merged the form fields into my template, and now I have this thing in Microsoft Word view. From here, I could go ahead and print this out, put it into a binder that I have on my job site, send it out through email. One of the nice things about sending it out through email is you could actually sweep emails that you get responses to back into the system. And I think there's another video that will overview that. But that is kind of a nice way to communicate with external parties, maybe people that aren't necessarily also using ProjectTeam.com. If you have any questions about anything that we went over today, about merged templates, merged documents, adding custom fields, some of the email sweep things that I just kind of mentioned, please feel free to call us at 703-961-1007. Thank you.